Mysticism, as a cross-cultural phenomenon, invites us to venture beyond the confines of our own religious and cultural frameworks. It beckons us to explore the shared threads of spiritual awakening that weave through the tapestry of human experience. By delving into the mystical traditions of different cultures, we can transcend religious boundaries, deepen our understanding of the human capacity for divine communion, and cultivate a greater appreciation for the richness and diversity of spiritual expression. Dr. Karen Armstrong, The Great Transformation, the beginning of our religious traditions. Mysticism transcends the boundaries of culture, history, and whichever religious tradition that it appears within. Whether it is Christian mystics seeking union with God, Hindu mystics striving for realization of the Atman, or Sufi mystics aiming for a direct experience of Allah, the underlying human longing for a deeper connection with the divine is the universal thread that unites all mystical traditions. Despite the diversity of cultural or religious contexts, mystical experiences often share common features. Mystics from different cultures and religions report very similar encounters with the ineffable, as well as an overwhelming sense of unity and interconnectedness, and a dissolution of the sense of separate self. These experiences of oneness with the divine or ultimate reality are described using different cultural and religious symbols, yet they point to a shared human capacity to transcend the ordinary. The methods and practices employed in mysticism also exhibit cross-cultural similarities. Whether it is meditation in Buddhism, contemplative prayer in Christianity, or Sufi rituals of zikr in Islam, mystics engage in various contemplative and devotional practices, still the mind, open the heart, and create a conducive space for a direct experience of the divine. These practices often involve silence, stillness, deep introspection, and the cultivation of heightened states of consciousness. Defining mysticism can be difficult due to its multifaceted nature and the diverse ways it is understood across cultures and religious traditions. Mysticism goes beyond mere intellectual understanding or adherence to religious doctrines, emphasizing personal experiential knowledge and a deep connection with the divine. Most simply put, regardless of the religious tradition in which it appears, mysticism is the pursuit of a direct and intimate experience of ultimate reality. Mysticism represents a profound and transformative dimension of spiritual experience. While religious traditions often provide a framework of beliefs, rituals, and moral guidelines, mysticism delves into the realm of personal, direct encounters with the divine or ultimate reality. It offers a pathway for individuals to move beyond intellectual understanding and cultivate a deep experiential relationship with the sacred. Thus, mysticism plays a crucial role in connecting one with the deeper dimensions of their faith and spirituality. By engaging in mystical practices of all kinds, one can deepen their spiritual awareness and experience a profound sense of union, love, and compassion. Mysticism, thereby, offers a bridge between the transcendent and immanent aspects of religious traditions. Mysticism can be seen as closing the gap between religious tradition and one's own spiritual evolution. Christian mysticism has a rich historical background that spans centuries and is deeply intertwined with the development of Christianity as a whole. In early Christianity, mysticism began to emerge as a profound aspect of spiritual experience. In that early history, figures such as the Desert Fathers sought solitude and engaged in contemplative practices to deepen their connection with God. During the medieval period, Christian mysticism flourished with the rise of notable figures who explored the depths of divine union. Christian mystics, such as, among many others, St. John of the Cross and St. Teresa of Avila in Spain and Meister Eckhart in Germany, left an indelible mark on the mystical tradition within Christianity. These Christian mystics offered profound insights into the journey of the soul towards union with God, emphasized the importance of contemplation and the transformative power of divine love. Saint John of the Cross, 1542 to 1591. Saint John of the Cross was a Spanish mystic, poet, and a key figure in Christian mysticism. Saint John is one of the most influential spiritual writers and thinkers in the Catholic tradition. He is known for his profound insights into the nature of divine love and contemplative spirituality. Saint John would later become a close spiritual mentor to Saint Teresa of Avila, another influential Spanish mystic. Saint John endured extremely harsh treatment and imprisonment due to his efforts to promote spiritual reform within the Catholic Church. During one of his imprisonments, Saint John composed his spiritual masterpiece, The Dark Night of the Soul. The Dark Night of the Soul marks a period of profound spiritual purification and transformation. According to Saint John, this dark night is a transformative and necessary passage for the soul's spiritual growth, leading to a greater union with the divine. Saint John taught that the ultimate goal of the mystic path is union with God. He spoke of different stages of union, ranging from the initial purgation of the senses to the higher levels of spiritual union, where the soul becomes fully transformed and aligned with God's will. He emphasized that this union is a gift from God, attained through divine grace rather than human effort. Saint John also taught that in order to progress on the spiritual path, individuals must detach themselves from earthly desires, attachments, and ego-driven tendencies. This process of self-emptying, known as kenosis in the Christian tradition, prepares the soul to become open and receptive to God's transforming presence. For St. John, true freedom only comes from letting go of worldly attachments and surrendering completely to God's will. Saint Teresa of Avila, 1515 to 1582. Saint Teresa of Avila was a Christian mystic and writer also born in Spain. She entered the Carmelite order at a young age and later became one of the most influential figures in the history of Christian mysticism. Saint Teresa of Avila taught the significance of prayer as a means of communing with God and deepening one's spiritual life. She encouraged individuals to engage in contemplative prayer, that is, going inward, stilling the mind, and seeking union with God through interior silence and presence. Saint Teresa coined the term interior castle to describe the journey of the soul towards union with God. Her spiritual masterpiece, The Interior Castle, outlines the different stages of this inward journey, highlighting the need for self-knowledge, humility, and surrender. Saint Teresa of Avila also taught that the ultimate goal of spiritual life was union with God. Meister Eckhart, 1260 to 1328. Meister Eckhart was a German theologian, philosopher, and Christian mystic. Eckhart is considered one of the most influential figures in Christian mysticism and is known for his profound teachings on spirituality, divine union, and the nature of God. Three of Meister Eckhart's most important ideas are the concept of God's presence in the soul, the notion of detachment and letting go, the significance of the birth of the Word in the soul. Firstly, Meister Eckhart taught that the soul, when purified and receptive, could experience a deep union with the divine. He encouraged individuals to recognize the divine spark within and to cultivate a contemplative awareness of God's indwelling presence. Secondly, Meister Eckhart stressed the importance of detachment and letting go of all attachments, including material possessions and even concepts of God. Meister Eckhart's teachings on detachment challenged conventional notions of spiritual progress and focused on the need for radical inner liberation. Lastly, Meister Eckhart's teachings revolved around the birth of the Word, or the divine spark, in the soul. Eckhart taught that one's soul could give birth to God's presence through contemplative awareness and deep surrender. Meister Eckhart understood this transformative experience as that which allowed the individual to participate in the divine nature and to embody the divine qualities in their own being. Meister Eckhart's teachings were often characterized by their poetic and paradoxical nature. Perhaps most controversially, Meister Eckhart taught that the Godhead was pure nothingness, while God was pure being. And because the Godhead of pure nothingness stood always already prior to God, or being, pure nothingness gave birth to God or being. Eckhart's teachings continue to inspire many spiritual seekers to this day. Contemplative prayer. Christian mystics engage in contemplative prayer as a means to commune with God. Through silence, stillness, and interior reflection, they seek to quiet the mind and open themselves to the presence of the divine. Dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul, as described by St. John of the Cross, describes a period of spiritual desolation and purification in the mystic's journey. It signifies a transformative process of letting go of attachments and self-centeredness, leading to a deeper union with God. Union with God. Christian mystics aspire to experience union with God, often referred to as the mystical marriage or the unitive state. This union involves a profound sense of divine presence, love, and surrender, where the individual soul becomes united with the divine essence. Distinctive features of Christian mysticism. Christian mysticism places a strong emphasis on the role of love and devotion in the mystical journey. The mystical path within Christianity is often seen as a means of personal transformation and spiritual growth, leading to a deeper relationship with God. Hindu mysticism. Hindu mysticism, also known as yogic or Vedic mysticism, has a rich historical background that dates back thousands of years and finds its roots in ancient Indian civilization. Its development can be traced to the ancient texts known as the Vedas, which form the foundation of Hindu philosophy and spirituality. The Vedas contain hymns, rituals, and philosophical insights that provide the basis for understanding the nature of reality and the spiritual path. Over time, Hindu mysticism evolved and incorporated various philosophical systems and practices. The Upanishads, which are philosophical treatises associated with the Vedas, explore the concept of Atman, the individual soul, and Brahman, the ultimate reality. These texts focus on the nature of existence, the illusion of separateness, and the quest for realizing the divine essence within. Hindu mysticism was also greatly influenced by the emergence of the Bhakti movement, which stressed devotion and love for the divine. Ultimately, the goal of Hindu mysticism is to transcend the illusion of separateness and experience union with the divine. Various paths are prescribed in Hindu mysticism to facilitate this journey. Bhakti Yoga. As mentioned, Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion. It involves developing a deep love and devotion for a chosen deity or the divine in a personal form. Through prayers, rituals, and acts of service, devotees seek to cultivate an intense longing for union with the divine and experience a profound connection and surrender to the object of their devotion. Jnana Yoga. The path of knowledge and wisdom. Jnana Yoga involves the intellectual exploration and understanding of philosophical concepts to discern the nature of reality and the true self. It emphasizes the inquiry into the nature of existence, the study of scriptures, and the practice of self-inquiry to realize the illusory nature of the ego and identify with the eternal essence. Karma Yoga. The path of selfless action. In the Bhagavad Gita, a sacred Hindu scripture, Lord Krishna explains the principles of Karma Yoga to Arjuna, teaching the importance of performing one's duties without attachment to the results. Thus, one should perform actions and duties with a sense of detachment, surrendering any benefits to the divine. By doing so, it is believed that individuals can purify their hearts and develop a deeper understanding of the interconnected nature of all beings. This path is said to offer a dissolution of the ego and a realization of the inherent unity in all existence. Dhyana Yoga meditation, in a variety of forms, is a central practice in all types of Hindu mysticism. However, meditation as a primary path is called Dhyana Yoga. Through meditation, practitioners seek to still the mind, transcend the ordinary dualistic consciousness, and attain direct experiential realization of their divine nature. Various techniques, such as breath control, pranayama, concentration, dharana, and mindfulness are employed to cultivate focused awareness and reach higher states of consciousness. The ultimate aim of Hindu mysticism is to attain moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, and merge the individual soul with the ultimate reality. There are innumerable mystics within the Hindu tradition. Here are just 3 examples. Ramakrishna, 1836 to 1886. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was born on February 18, 1836, in Kamarpukur, West Bengal, India. Ramakrishna grew up in a devout Brahmin family and displayed a natural inclination towards spiritual pursuits from a very young age. His deep longing for God led him to seek amongst a variety of religious teachers and traditions. Ramakrishna delved into the practices of Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity, studying under several gurus and exploring many different mystic paths. One of the defining aspects of Ramakrishna's life was his extraordinary spiritual experiences. Ramakrishna was known to enter deep states of meditation, experiencing states of ecstasy and profound union with the divine. He would often lose awareness of his physical surroundings and become absorbed in spiritual ecstasy, engaging in ecstatic dances, visions, and other mystical phenomena. His presence radiated a divine energy that attracted seekers from various backgrounds, including intellectuals, scholars, and devotees. Ramakrishna's teachings stressed the universality of spiritual or mystic experience and the underlying unity of all religions. He believed that all religions were valid paths to the same ultimate truth and encouraged his disciples to embrace their own faith while respecting and understanding other religious traditions. Ramakrishna's teachings attracted the attention of prominent figures such as Swami Vivekananda, who we will look at in a moment. Ramakrishna's mysticism was not detached from the practical aspects of life. He taught the importance of spiritual realization in the context of everyday existence, encouraging his disciples to balance their spiritual pursuits with their worldly responsibilities. Ramakrishna believed that genuine spiritual realization should manifest in selfless service, compassion, and the upliftment of society. Swami Vivekananda, 1863 to 1902. Swami Vivekananda was born on January 12, 1863, in Calcutta, India. Swami Vivekananda was a monk, philosopher, author, spiritual leader, and the chief disciple of Ramakrishna. He played a pivotal role in introducing Hindu philosophy and spirituality to the West, and is widely regarded as a key figure in the modern revival of Vedanta and yoga. Swami Vivekananda's teachings on mysticism are rooted in the principles of Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta is a non-dualistic philosophical school of thought in Hinduism that asserts the ultimate reality is characterized by the oneness of the individual soul, Atman, and the universal consciousness, Brahman. It was Ramakrishna's teachings on the direct realization of God and the underlying unity of all religions which deeply influenced Swami Vivekananda's mystic path. After the death of his guru Ramakrishna, Vivekananda traveled extensively, both within India and overseas. In 1893, at the Parliament of the World's Religions in Chicago, Vivekananda gave his famous address, which introduced Hinduism and its profound mystical teachings to the Western audience. One of Swami Vivekananda's core teachings on mysticism was the concept of direct experience of God. Vivekananda advocated for the direct experience of the divine through deep contemplation, meditation, and the cultivation of a profound spiritual relationship with the divine. Vivekananda believed that mysticism was not limited to a select few, but was the birthright of every individual, encouraging seekers to tap into their own inner resources and strive for direct communion with the divine. Mirabai, 1498 to 1547. Mirabai, also known as Mira, was born in 1498 in Murta, Rajasthan, India. Mirabai was a Hindu mystic, poet, and ardent devotee of Krishna. She is a celebrated bhakti saint, particularly in the North Indian Hindu tradition. Mirabai's life and poetry have left an indelible mark on Indian spirituality, celebrating the power of devotion and the transformative potential of mystical experiences. Mirabai's mystical journey was characterized by her deep love and surrender to the divine in the form of Lord Krishna. Her mystical journey began when she was introduced to the teachings of Sant Ravidas, a revered mystic and poet. Mirabai's mystical experiences were deeply rooted in her unwavering devotion to Lord Krishna. She viewed Krishna as her divine lover and sang hymns and poems expressing her profound love and yearning for union with him. Mirabai's poetry, known as bhajans, captured the essence of her mystical experiences, combining emotional depth, spiritual longing, and a sense of surrender to the divine presence. Often, Mirabai would lose herself in ecstatic dances, songs, and trance-like states, completely absorbed in the presence of Krishna. Mirabai's devotion and longing for union with the divine became the driving force behind her spiritual practice and poetic expression. Mirabai's poetry and songs continue to be sung and cherished to this day, carrying the essence of her mystical journey and spreading the message of divine love and union. Mirabai's legacy resonates, reminding us of the transformative potential of love, surrender, and the mystical path. Hindu mysticism, deeply rooted in ancient Indian civilization, offers a profound exploration of ultimate reality and the individual's journey toward realizing their divine essence. It encompasses paths of devotion, knowledge, and meditation, each providing a unique approach to experiencing union with the divine. Through devotion, self-inquiry, and meditation, practitioners seek to transcend the illusion of separateness, dissolve the ego, and merge with the ultimate reality. Conclusion. That concludes Mysticism Part 1. In our next video, Mysticism Part 2, we will examine mysticism as it is expressed in Buddhism, Judaism, and Islam.
हो सब यहीं छोड़ जाएगा क्या लेके आयो जग में क्या लेके जाएगा क्या लेके आयो जग में क्या लेके जाएगा ओ बंधु